there are four basic takes on the book of Revelation. There are four basic interpretive schools. Now, if you wanted to parse them out, you could probably come up with 104 different takes on the book of Revelation. But there are four, in painting with a broad brush, there are four basic schools of thought on how the book of Revelation should be handled. They are the historicist position, the preterist position, the futurist position, and the spiritualist position. Let me just define those and then describe this book for you. The historicist position is the view that says the book of Revelation is a prophecy of the unfolding of all of church history. So view the book of Revelation as being given in the first century, and all of church history is rolled up at your feet like a carpet. And then you unroll the carpet down through history. And in this part of Revelation, you can see the rise of the papacy, and in this part of Revelation, you can see the Reformation. And in the book of Revelation, you can see the Reformation, and so on. So a historicist is someone who thinks that the book of Revelation is predicting in a sustained, contiguous way all of church history. That's the historicist view. Almost no one today. This was probably the received approach among the reformers, but almost no scholar of any rank today holds to it. But there's still vestiges of this view. Some of a number of historicist books are still in print, and there's a vestige of this view among dispensationalists, where they take the seven churches at the beginning of the book, and each one of those churches represents a church age. There's the age of Philadelphia, the age of Laodicea, and the age of Smyrna, and so on. That's a historicist cubbyhole within a futurist framework. So historicism basically thinks that Revelation predicts all of church history in a sustained way. The preterist view, and this is the view I hold, the preterist view, and it comes from the Latin word for past. The preterist believes that the book of Revelation was predicting the future at when the revelation was given, but it was John's future and it's our distant past. So let's say the book of Revelation is given to John in the 60s AD, and he's predicting the destruction of Jerusalem in 70 AD. That's 10 years in his future and 2,000 years in our past. So preterists look for fulfillments in the first century. So they think it's predictive prophecy in the future from the time of the prophecy, but in our distant past. So the five heads, the beast with seven heads. The seven heads are seven hills, which would be the cities, the hills of Rome. And there are also seven kings. Five were, one is. Well, Caesar Augustus, Julius Caesar, Caesar Augustus, down to the sixth, who's Nero. And so the preterist identifies these fulfillments in the first century. The futurist is someone who believes that John was predicting something in his distant future and in our probably imminent future. So the futurist holds that the book of Revelation is not yet fulfilled. The book of Revelation is yet to be fulfilled. So that's historicist, all of church history in a continuous way. Preterist, the history of the church and Israel and Rome in the first century. The futurist position is that it's a prediction of what's going to come to pass at the end of the world, still in our future. And then the fourth school of thought is the spiritualist, sometimes called the idealist, the spiritualist view. And take this view as the view that says it doesn't have any literal earthly fulfillment, but take it as a giant parable in the sky. So this is a gaudy and flamboyant and highly colored parable that describes the conflict of good and evil, the way the bad guys persecute the church, etc. So it's more parabolic than it is predictive prophecy. So those are the four views: historicist, preterist, futurist, and spiritualist.